Welcome back. I wanted to share a couple really exciting updates about Power Automate Desktop and the general Power Automate ecosystem with you. So these are all updates from March of 2021, just a couple days ago now. So first things first is Power Automate Desktop is now free for all users. So you've probably already heard about this. It was kind of all over the news if you follow Power Automate Desktop. There was a lot of articles on this. But the part that I want to highlight is actually two other things related to this. So the first is that you can now use a personal Microsoft account to use Power Automate Desktop. And also second, you can use Windows 10 Home. So what this does is it basically allows you to, instead of going through that whole hassle of creating an organizational account, trying to update your Windows operating system to Windows Pro just to use one piece of software, which I personally did, and all those kind of crazy things you had to do, you had to spend money, you had to spend about half an hour getting set up, even creating the database so you could run desktop flows on your computer. You had to go over to Power Apps and create a common data service, or I think they now call it a Dataverse, and then come back over. And it was a really big hassle to get started with Power Automate Desktop. And I think personally that would have turned off a lot of users from using the tool. But now with this March 2021 update, you can use it for free. You can use your personal account, so you don't need to create an organizational account, and you can use Windows 10 Home. So what this does is it honestly opens up the tool to so many more users. I expect that a lot of new people will be coming on and kind of learning the tool and playing with it and getting to experience the benefits of robotic process automation or automation with Power Automate Desktop. So that obviously is a great thing for everyone. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I wanted to cover was, again, that the Dataverse can now be added from within Power Automate Desktop. So this is actually a huge win. Like I said before, in order to get this running, you had to make sure your environment was set up correctly, make sure you had the correct admin credentials to create a database, go into Power Apps, sign up for the free trial inside of Power Apps, create the Dataverse, then come back over to Power Automate, the kind of web system for that. Make sure that everything was working correctly, download Power Automate Desktop, and then you could run your flows. So honestly, I've been using Power Automate Desktop pretty much since it came out. And whenever I tried to recreate that process to kind of show someone else how to do it or re-record it, sometimes I would get confused and I would get lost and I'd have to troubleshoot it again. And it was honestly just so complicated and so convoluted just to get started with the product. And so this, again, with the updates earlier, is a huge win for new users because it makes it so simple to just get started and do what you need to do. And you can pretty much download and run and you're good to go. So that's obviously an awesome addition. And the last one that I want to highlight in here may not be a huge deal for everyone, but for me personally, I think this is a big deal. There's a whole bunch of updates to variables and that kind of stuff, but this one right here, variables can be used during web or desktop recording. So this is actually a really big hassle for me because previously what you had to do is whenever you wanted to extract some information or enter information into a web page or a desktop recording, let's say you had some data you wanted to pull out of a website, you'd have to right click on it and extract it, and then you could put that in a variable. When you're entering information, you had to instead type the information that you want and then go back into the flow, edit your flow, and replace that content with the name of your variable. So I know it's a small update, it's just a quality of life kind of thing, but I like seeing these kinds of updates because to me what it shows is that the team that's working on Power Automate Desktop has a good understanding of what some of the problems are with the tool. There's still a lot more that I think that can be improved, but overall, it's honestly a great tool as compared to other robotic process automation tools out there. There's a couple hiccups with some things, but overall, it's doing really well. And I'm excited to see updates like this because it just makes it so much easier to use for everyone, really. And you don't have to teach users these kind of workarounds in order to get what they want done, right? You just do it, and it's easy. So those are my top 3 updates for March 2021 for Power Automate Desktop. Hopefully you are as excited as I am with these updates now that it's free, easy to use, and there's these quality of life improvements kind of coming down the pipeline. Also, I'm expecting some big updates later this week because we have the Microsoft Business Applications event. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but basically where they talk about the Power Apps ecosystem, or what do they call it? I can't remember the name for all of their tools. We got Power Apps, Power Virtual Agents, Power Automate, and Power BI. They kind of talk about updates for that whole ecosystem of products. And so that should be exciting because there should be some new information and some updates coming to the product as a result of that. If you want to know more about Power Automate Desktop, keep up with the latest news, the general Power Automate ecosystem, be sure to like and subscribe, and you'll be hearing from me every week with new content. All right, I'll see you in the next one.